Have you ever felt like you were doing everything right, but still, life seemed stuck? Ever had that feeling there's something bigger, an unseen force, almost within reach, yet it slips through your fingers every time you try to grasp it? What if I told you the key was never about doing more, running faster, fighting harder, but rather stopping, just stopping for 33 seconds, and in that brief moment, accessing a place few know, but one that transforms absolutely everything? Yes, I know. It sounds counterintuitive. You expect that to attract wealth, you need to study more, plan more, work double. But the deeper and forgotten truth is that the portals of abundance don't open with effort, but with frequency, with energy, with alignment. And that's where the 33-second prayer comes in. But before your rational mind tries to label this as superstition or a baseless esoteric ritual, take a deep breath. Because what you're about to discover in this video isn't religion, it's not empty mysticism, and certainly not empty promises. It's a reunion. A return to something you always knew, but which was silenced by the world's noise. We were taught to seek God outside, to pursue prosperity as if hunting a rare prize, to beg for blessings as if they were scarce. But what if, I told you the abundance you seek is already here? Not in the future, not after you pay all the bills, but now, within you, sleeping, waiting to be awakened, and that's why this prayer is so powerful. Because it doesn't ask, it activates. It doesn't plead for miracles, it creates them. It's as if there's a switch in your energetic field, and by flipping it with pure intention, you don't just change your vibration, you change your reality. Yet most people will live their entire lives without discovering this, because they're too busy, too anxious, too disconnected. But you are here, and that means something within you is ready to remember, ready to manifest, ready to be who you always were. Throughout this video, we'll journey through a path that begins in silence and culminates in the most transformative revelation of your life. And believe me, the final revelation is the most powerful of all. So, stay with me until the very end, because that's where everything clicks into place. That's where you'll understand why the 33-second prayer isn't just a technique. It's a gateway. But before we go any further, allow yourself a small gesture of energetic exchange. If this topic has already stirred something within you, even if you can't explain what, please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. This isn't just a click, it's a confirmation. It's like telling the universe, I'm ready for this transformation, and trust me, every single step matters, this one included. Now imagine for a moment, what if, in under a minute, you could open a space within yourself where divine abundance manifested without blockage, where the energy of prosperity flowed like an unobstructed river, not as something you desperately seek, but as something you naturally attract, because you've become compatible with it. This is what we're talking about. And this is what your soul remembers, even if your mind still doubts. And throughout this video, you'll understand why manifestation isn't about forcing results, but about allowing what is already yours to appear. We'll explore wisdom encoded in verses that, for centuries, have been misunderstood. We'll decipher teachings that show how faith, when aligned with consciousness rather than fear, becomes the bridge between the invisible and the tangible. You'll realize that everything you've ever desired is already vibrating, waiting for your permission. That the universe doesn't respond to your words, but to your state of being. That it's not about shouting at the sky, it's about whispering within. And in this process, something magical begins to unfold. You no longer feel separated from the source, from the creator, from abundance. You begin to remember that you are part of it all, that nothing was ever missing, that the world tried to convince you that you were small, but your soul knows. You were born to be a channel for something infinitely grand. And when we get to the 33-second prayer, you won't just hear it. You'll feel it. You'll vibrate with it, because that will be the moment when everything we've discussed so far becomes real, alive, present, and, most importantly, available to you. But before we move on to this sacred point in our journey, I want to extend a special invitation. If this message is resonating with your heart, and if you feel you've spent too long stuck in old patterns, self-sabotage, and limitations, click the link in the first pinned comment. There, you'll discover a key. Something practical, direct, and profound that can begin today the conscious manifestation process of the life you deserve to live. Now, breathe. Quiet yourself internally for a moment. Feel what's emerging within you. Because what's coming isn't just a technique, it's an awakening. Remember the phrase, "Wealth is not distant. It merely awaits permission." It will be the seed we plant. And when repeated with truth, it transforms your entire field. With each repetition, closer. With each word, more aligned. With each passing second, more aware. Now that we've touched the invisible, let's continue together. Because the prayer is drawing near. And when it arrives, you will no longer be the same. Ready to step through the portal? Close your eyes for an instant and envision an endless golden field. Light gently touches the earth as if time itself is suspended. In this field, everything blossoms effortlessly. Nothing there needs to rush, nothing needs to prove itself. It simply is. And in this being, everything manifests. Wealth, peace, beauty, life. This is how the universe operates when you enter. Coherence. The 33-second prayer is the entry point to this field, not because it possesses magical words, but because it aligns you, synchronizes you, repositions you at the center of creation. When you perform it correctly with the right internal state, you're not asking for anything. You're activating. You are reminding your body, your soul, and your vibration that abundance is not a prize. It's a natural state. But for this to happen, there's a silent prerequisite. You must stop fighting. Yes, I know. That's uncomfortable to hear. The mind screams that effort is needed, that you have to chase things, that nothing comes easy. But what if this belief is precisely what keeps everything blocked? What if the only thing preventing the flow of prosperity from reaching you is your habit of resisting, of trying to control everything, of always preparing for the worst? You see, true faith isn't theoretical. It vibrates. It emits a signal. And that signal creates forms, attracts events, shapes coincidences. As it is written, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. But this certainty isn't mental. It's energetic. You can say 1,000 times that you believe, but if internally you're anxious, tense, doubting, the universe will respond to your vibration, not your words. The 33-second prayer isn't powerful because of its duration. It's powerful because of the frequency you sustain in those seconds. It's the instant when the noise ceases and you align with the creative field. It's as if, for a few seconds, you return to the divine womb of creation, where everything is possible, and say to the universe, I remember who I am, I know what I deserve, and I allow it. And when that permission is genuine, everything begins to shift, sometimes subtly, other times dramatically. Because the truth is, abundance was never the problem. The problem is that you learned to feel guilty for wanting more. You were taught to think small, to settle for crumbs, to believe that prosperity is synonymous with greed. But here's the point. True wealth doesn't distance you from God. It brings you closer. Because when you have enough time, resources, tranquility, you become a clearer channel for good. You can help more, create more, love more. The issue was never wealth itself, but the fear of what it represents. And it's this fear that the prayer deconstructs, because it doesn't just speak to your mind. It penetrates the quantum field. It organizes your energy. It creates space within you for the new to enter. And perhaps that's the hardest part, letting go of the old thoughts, old resentments, old ways of seeing yourself. The prayer, when done with truth, begins to erase these limiting records. And that's why sometimes right after using it, you might feel an emptiness, a pause, a suspension, because your field is reconfiguring. You're not losing anything, you're being reborn. And in this rebirth, abundance begins to show itself. Sometimes in a detail, an idea that arises, a person who appears, an unexpected opportunity. Other times in such perfect synchronicity that you almost don't believe it, but you do believe, because your soul knows, it always knew. Now you might wonder, why 33 seconds? The answer isn't mathematical, it's symbolic. The number 33 carries, in various spiritual traditions, the archetype of mastery. It was at 33 years old that Jesus completed his mission. In the geometry of the universe, 33 is a frequency of transformation, and when you intentionally place yourself in this time frame, with your heart in a state of surrender, not control, you activate something profound. It's like a code, a command, a password. During these 33 seconds, linear time loses its grip. It's as if you open a small hole in the fabric of reality, and through it, you let the light shine through. But this light doesn't come from outside, it comes from within. It was already there. It just needed space to move. And that's precisely why this exercise works best when done with feeling, not with haste. It's better to say this prayer once a day, with total surrender, than to repeat it 10 times out of obligation. The universe responds to true intention, not automatic repetition. And now I want you to imagine what your life would be like if this practice became a part of you. Imagine waking up every day with the certainty that reality is on your side. That even when circumstances seem negative, an invisible flow is guiding you. That every challenge is an alignment. That every delay is protection. That every pure desire of yours has already been heard and is being delivered. But for this, you need to exit survival mode. You need to stop being a beggar of the divine and remember that you are a child, an heir, a channel. You need to move from "please give me" to "I accept," because it is already mine. And that's what the 33-second prayer ignites. This transition, this quiet, radical shift, this passage from slave of fear to conscious co-creator. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract everything with ease? As if they're always in the right place at the right time. It's not luck, it's frequency. They aren't searching, they are in tune. And that's what you're about to experience. Remember the phrase, "Wealth is not distant. It merely awaits permission." Repeat it with your eyes closed. Let it sink in. Let it dissolve the no's you've repeated your entire life. Feel the yes being born within you. And if you're still here with me, it's because this message is yours. And if it's yours, then the next step is too. Click the link in the first pinned comment. There you'll find transformative content that will help you deepen this connection, understand the principles you've begun to access here, and live this manifestation with clarity, practice, and direction. Now, breathe once more. Feel. The portal is open, and in the next segment, we'll do the 33-second prayer together. You won't just hear it, you'll experience it, because it's not a mere plea. It's a code, a command, a bridge, and when it's over, something will have changed forever. Now, you've reached the most potent point of this journey. This is where everything transforms. Close your eyes. Drop your shoulders. Allow yourself to pause. You don't need to understand. Just feel. Because this prayer isn't made with the mouth. It's made with the field. It's a frequency that activates what is already yours by spiritual inheritance. So feel each word as a key turning within you. Let's go together. I open myself to the infinite abundance of the universe. I recognize that I am one with the creative source of all prosperity. In this moment, I allow wealth to flow freely into my life without guilt, without fear, without resistance. Everything I need is already on its way, and everything that prevents me from receiving is now being dissolved. I am worthy, I am ready, I am prosperous. From now on, I stop chasing and begin attracting. Abundance recognizes me, finds me, envelops me. Because where my attention is, there is my creation. And I choose to focus on what is already mine in the invisible field. I feel. I give thanks. I receive. Wealth is not distant. It merely awaits permission, and I permit it. Breathe. Let the vibration settle. You don't need to force anything. The seed has been planted. The field is already activated. This is where the new is born. Not in struggle, not in desperation, but in this space where you finally allow, where you quiet the how and immerse yourself in the yes. Now pay attention. Something will change. Perhaps it's already changing. Not because you begged, but because you tuned in. This is the greatest secret few understand about prayer. It's not about words. It's about presence. The energy you emanate in this brief moment is worth more than years of struggle, because the quantum field responds to coherence, not drama. It doesn't understand scarcity. It only understands vibration. And that's why, from now on, the most important thing isn't to repeat the prayer mechanically every day. The most important thing is to preserve the state it evokes. It's to continue vibrating as someone who has already received. It's to walk as if it is already done. It's to act with a peaceful heart, not in haste. Do you remember that phrase? Wealth is not distant. It merely awaits permission. Repeat it now, softly, if you can, or just in thought but with intensity, as if every word is being etched onto your skin. Because that's what's happening. You are being rewritten, not by the world, not by the past, but by yourself, by your new identity, by your expanded consciousness that finally has stopped sabotaging itself to begin honoring itself. And this, my friend, is a rebirth. Yes, it might hurt, because rebirth demands dying, and there will be parts of you that resist, that will want to hold on to the old victim role, that will remind you of what didn't work. But when that happens, smile, because it's just the old trying to survive. You are no longer the same. You listen to this message this far for a reason. Something within you already knows that the time for begging is over, that you were not created to merely survive, but to manifest, not through logic, but through vibration, not through religion, but through a real connection with the Creator. The 33-second prayer is the beginning. It's the ignition point, but it's your daily decision that keeps the fire lit. And now I want you to imagine, what will it be like when this prayer becomes part of your daily life? What will it be like to wake up with peace in your chest and fall asleep with gratitude in your eyes? What will it be like to look at life and see signs everywhere that you are on the right path? What will it be like when people around you start asking, "What did you do?" You're different. And all you'll need to say is, "I allowed." Simple as that. Allowing is the forgotten art of manifestation. You don't need to conquer. You need to allow. You don't need to control. You need to trust. You don't need to deserve. You need to remember. And remembering is everything. Remembering that you are an extension of the divine, that you came to expand, not to shrink, that you are not here to repeat stories of scarcity, but to write a new one. This is your chance. This is your moment. Click the link in the first pinned comment. There you'll find transformative content that will help you deepen this connection, Understand the principles you began to access here, and live this manifestation with awareness and consistency. It's simple. It's direct. It's for you. And now, to close this cycle, I invite you to comment below. Wealth is not distant. It merely awaits permission. Yes, declare it. Let the field know you heard, that you felt, that you are ready. Because the vibration you emanate now will be the reality you soon experience. You've already taken the first step. Now, keep walking. Leave a like if this message resonated with you. Subscribe so you don't miss future content. Let's journey together in this expansion, manifestation, and remembrance of your true power. And never forget, everything you seek already exists within you. You are not separate. You never were. Now, allow. Now, live.